Hi there, this is Craig Beck from StopDrinkingExpert.com. Now, before we get into today's episode, I just want to remind you, if you would like a free copy of my best-selling book, Alcohol Lied to Me, then sign up for today's free quit drinking webinar. Go to the website, StopDrinkingExpert.com. In today's episode, I want to talk about something that's really important for people who have already quit drinking. And if you're still drinking but planning on quitting, this is something that you must know at this point because it's going to come to you at some point in the future and it could trip you up. It's a huge obstacle in the sober person's life. And the title of this video is called Quitting Alcohol, Why Success Breeds Failure, because that is exactly what happens. And I saw a post in the secret Facebook group that my members get access to. And there was a guy in there, he was telling the story about how he'd had 9 months of amazing sobriety, the best period of his adult life, no cravings to drink, was shocked at how easy it was, and was loving life. And then one day, the thought entered his head, just one drink won't hurt. And that's exactly what he did. He had a drink, fell off the wagon, threw away 9 months of sobriety, and was absolutely devastated. But more than that, he was confused. How did that happen? It had been so easy. It had been so beautiful. It had been so blissful and peaceful. How could he throw that away in that one moment? And that's what I want to talk about today, because when it comes to quitting drinking, success breeds failure if you're not prepared for it. So let me explain what happens. When you get to the point where you come to someone like me, you see, I'm not a doctor, but what I am is a former problem drinker who now helps other people out of the loop, because that's exactly what it is. It's a loop. And if you're a problem drinker, the chances are you're drinking every day. And that means there's a routine about your drinking. You're waking up every morning full of guilt and regret, and you're saying things to yourself like, I'm not drinking tonight. That's it. I'm done with it. Only to find later on that day you're drinking and the loop begins again. You start every morning in this same painful, horrible process of guilt, regret and repetition, going round and round and round and round. And it'll go on for decades until it kills you eventually. So I help people out of that loop. And when you're in the loop, you are acutely aware of just how much alcohol is damaging your life. And not just your life, but the life of all those who surround you, your partner, your children, your friends, your family. No matter what we say to ourselves when we're drinking, that our behavior only affects us, it doesn't. And if you've had an alcoholic in your family or a problem drinker in your family, you'll know only too well that it's painful to watch someone you love destroy themselves like that. So when you're in the heat of the moment, the balance of pain and pleasure in your life is very precise and very acute. You can see all the damage that alcohol is doing to your world. And when you're going to make significant change in your life, you have to get, if you want to be successful at making this change, you have to get powerful leverage on the situation. And that means that you have to have huge amounts of pain attached to failure or staying where you are, and huge amounts of pleasure attached to pursuing your goal and achieving success. You have to have both of those. You can't just have pain. You have to have some pleasure in the leverage mix as well. And you can't just have pleasure. You have to be at risk of pain if you don't do it. So at the start of the journey, when you quit drinking, you're very acutely aware of the pain because it's very close to you. You don't have to spend any time imagining or remembering what it was like. It's there, it's in your life, and it hurts and it's horrible, and you can see the damage. Now, what happens when you quit drinking is slowly, over days, weeks and months, your life starts to get better because you're no longer drinking diluted poison for fun. And so you start to see dramatic improvements in your health, in your energy levels, in your career, in your business, in your focus of what you want to achieve in your life, in your relationships with your husband, your wife, and your children. Slowly, 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 but persistently and continuously, your life gets better. And this is what this guy in the Facebook group was talking about. He's saying, I've just had the best 9 months of my life. So why would you throw that away? Why would you go back to alcohol with all that evidence of success, pleasure, and forward progress? And the answer is because the balance gets adjusted. You are no longer so acutely aware of the pain of alcohol. In fact, you've got sufficient distance now, maybe 6, 9, 12 months, that when you look back, you can hardly remember the pain. You can't really clearly remember just how miserable alcohol was making you. It's fuzzy, it's blurred, it's no longer bright and colorful and in your perception. It's a blurry, distant memory. And in fact, what you start to do is when you get this sort of distance away from drinking is when you look back, actually what you're more likely to remember are the good times where alcohol was present. The best moments in your life, significant moments in your life. When you got married, when your children were born, when you were on vacation, when you were doing this, when you were doing that. And alcohol was probably present because it is woven into the fabric of Western life, isn't it? And so when you get so far away from the pain that when you look back, all you remember are the key moments in your life and alcohol happened to be there, a distortion happens in your head. You start thinking more positively about alcohol. You stop thinking about it as this evil poison that wants to kill you. You just remember that you had good times, you had amazing times, and alcohol was there. And here's the problem. Because your subconscious opinion, your belief about what alcohol is has changed from being evil to being something that was there when good things were happening, you make a false assumption. You start saying, well, I quit pretty easily, so maybe it wasn't as evil as I thought it was. It didn't come after me. I didn't get all these big cravings. I had an amazing time. I just left alcohol behind. Maybe I didn't have a problem at all. Maybe I was just being over dramatic. Maybe I was exaggerating the problem. And a seed is planted and it starts to grow because the clown, the evil clown, alcohol that lives in your head, senses an opportunity and it starts to feed and fertilize and water this little seed of a possibility. And it starts saying something to you. And this is why when you come to boot camp with me, I tell you about the 5 most dangerous words on planet Earth. And I'm very, very clear about this at boot camp and in my online training course. And I stop the room. I say, listen to me very carefully. Because if you stop drinking today, in 6, 9, 12 months' time, 5 words are going to pop into your head. And when you hear these 5 words in your head, I want you to punch yourself in the face as hard as you can. Because they are the last thing you're going to hear before something very bad happens. And those 5 words are, just one drink won't hurt. Just one drink won't hurt. And it won't be just like some Tuesday afternoon where you think, oh, well, just one drink won't hurt. You will be 9 months sober. You will be in a situation where it seems harmless. You'll be at a wedding and someone will put a glass of champagne in your hand to toast the bride and groom. And you'll hear the 5 words, just one drink won't hurt. You'll be with your friends in a pub and someone forgets that you don't drink anymore and they buy you a pint of beer. And they put it in your hand and they go, oh, sorry, I forgot you wanted a Coke. And you'll hear it, the 5 words, just one drink won't hurt. And you'll go, no, it's okay. I can have one. I think I'm okay to have one. And as soon as you respond to those 5 words, you are starting a process that will take you months to repair. Because the first thing that's going to happen, it's not like you're going to have one drink and then completely understand what you've done and go straight back into your sober life. This is going to mess with your head now, right? Because most people, after 9 months, 12 months away from drinking, when they have a drink of alcohol, they're acutely aware of how bad it tastes. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe I used to drink this stuff for fun. It's disgusting. Now I don't want another one. Now that might sound like a good thing, but the problem is, it plays with their head, and the next day they start thinking, well, I didn't even enjoy it. I can't have had a problem with drinking because I had a drink, I didn't like it. So maybe now I can just have one and, every now and again to be sociable. And I guarantee you, if you have this thought pattern, you will be back into the loop of daily drinking or weekly binging within a couple of weeks. Then you're going to have to go through a whole heap of pain before you get to the point where you realize that you've been conned again and you have to escape the loop again. So that's why success breeds failure when it comes to quitting alcohol, because the balance of pleasure and pain changes. We lose clarity and focus on just how much damage this drug did to our life. And there's nothing you can do about that, because apart from making a little video for yourself that you watch once a week where you talk to yourself, which I encourage my members to do. It's called the Day One video. Apart from doing that, time is going to pass and your perception of the past is going to change with it. So the only thing I can say to you is, if you're sober now, or if you're planning to get sober, be ready. Be ready for the 5 most dangerous words that you will ever think or say. And I want you to remember this moment. The first time you say, just one drink won't hurt, I want you to remember this moment. And if I could reach through into your world and slap you about the face, I would do it right now, because that is the last chance you get before a big disaster arrives in your life, and it's going to take you months to clean it up. I hope that helps. Be warned, and it will help you when this moment comes. If you are worried about your drinking, go to my website now and sign up for my free Quit Drinking webinar, and I'll give you a copy of my book as a freebie just for turning up. StopDrinkingExpert.com.